Hey guys, it's me. Welcome to a care and propagation video. First of all, I do have a video on this Begonia maculata that I'm going to link up above. It was done years ago, and I do have some updated care tips, and I'm also going to show you how I rehabbed this plant because it suffered quite a bit of abuse. And a lot of you guys who grew this plant will probably experience this at some point where the plant has outgrown its trellis or whatever, and it just clambered down everywhere. I'm just going to try to make this plant look sexy again. Now, really quickly about the care, bright indirect light, maybe I would even say medium indirect light. Now, this is a bit of a contradiction to what I said before a few years ago, but this plant, if you give it too much of a bright light, it does lose its red back. So you can see from this plant here that I did manage to get some of the red back ever since I moved this into my living room with slightly lower light. But at some point, this plant completely lost its red color underside, which is really known for. And I'm not even sure in this rescue video if I'm going to be able to bring the red back in some of the newer leaves, but we're going to try. But when you buy these plants, again, they have this crimson red underside, and this is an adaptation in their natural habitat to be in lower light because the red will allow light to be reflected right back up into the chlorophyll. So when you have this plant, do not give it too much of a bright indirect light. I might have exposed mine to a bit of direct light at some point because I grew this in my yard in my previous home. So this has suffered a lot of abuse, and this one plant here has been moved indoors, outdoors, indoors, outdoors. Potting medium, they like to be in a very, very airy, fast draining potting mix. And depending on where you are in my high humidity climate, I don't want to let them sit in water. They can rot very, very easily. And you can tell when the leaves start putting out this yellow crisping at the edge that is like almost mushy. That's when you know it's trying to let go of a lot of water. It's trying to secrete as much excess water out of its leaf as possible, stressing out the leaves. And if you live in a lower humidity climate, you may want to keep this slightly but evenly moist all the time, but you do want to make sure that your potting media is nice and fluffy, so you don't want to have it soggy and compacted over time because that will really cause them to suffer. So airy potting media, and depending on where you live, you really want to water them accordingly. This is not a pest-prone plant, although it can get some bacterial and fungal inspections on the leaves, just as with most begonias. So you can spray a bit of fungicide on it if you can, or neem oil does wonders. It's got really strong antibacterial properties. I do fertilize this with just a regular houseplant fertilizer, my slow release balanced NPK ratio fertilizer. And I've actually propagated quite a lot of these, so this is going to be a very easy video for me, but it's going to be satisfying for you to watch as I propagate this and really try to make it look sexy again. So give me a few months and I can show you what this plant can look like. All right, so I'm going to be taking off from this longest vine first and then work my way down. And as you can see, I'm going to take this off. I just made a cut off this vine, but it's already putting out a new bud here. So this is where a new plant will emerge from. So when you cut a plant, make sure that you leave a few nodes behind so it can regrow. But the most precious one for us is the top cutting. So I'm going to be taking off like this much, and you don't want a lot of leaf. So you want a very good leaf to root ratio. I'm going to take this off, and I want to take another leaf off. There you go. And then as you can see here, these are the growth points where new leaves can emerge, a whole new vine can emerge. But since this is a top cutting, it's going to focus all its energy on this apical bud here. So this is going to grow upwards with these new leaves. And with this particular cutting, I'm going to put this in. Now, usually for top cuttings, I tend to water propagate them because they have a lot of leaves here and you need a lot of water to sustain these leaves. Otherwise, they would dry off and crisp up. At the same time, you also want this plant to push out roots. So the leaves are helping the cutting here by photosynthesizing and providing it energy. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? I may even take off one more lower leaf. Yeah, I'm going to do that. And there you go. Now with the lower cutting, this one actually already put out a new vine. I don't know if you can see here. It's already put out a new vine. That's very cute. So for this one, what I could probably do is, I've already got like a pot set up here. Let me set this. And then I'm just gonna plant this right in there. Now for a plant like this, it's actually a good idea to do a bit of a, what do you call it, like a bit of a tent action here so it doesn't lose too much moisture from the leaves. So a quick crash course again. This is not the healthiest leaf, it's already got some crisping edges around the side. But with the cutting, you do want to have this right here, a main node, and it's going to root from the bottom of the stem here, and this is where the new branch is going to emerge, this little nub right in the middle here. So you need all that component for it to put out a new baby plant. And of course, I want to water this religiously because it's in a terracotta pot. It's going to dry out really fast, so I'm going to have probably water this, drench it every single day. Or if I put this in like a contraption, cover it for humidity, that also works actually. Gonna take another top cutting and then take off one of the leaf. Now I'm trying to put out another leaf already, so it's very, very stressed out at this point, I'm pretty sure. So let me show you where I made the cut just now. I made a cut over here, and I do want to leave 2 leaves on this stem so that this plant can still photosynthesize. So it can push out some lower vines, which we can also propagate later on. So you don't want to keep it too bald. Now going back down, if you want to be super greedy, we can turn this into many plants. Actually, this is one. Now I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket, I think. So I might try a few different methods and place them in different areas of the house to propagate them. But again, in this situation, you do need high humidity. You need to make sure that it's like nicely watered, but you don't want to keep this sitting in water or too wet as well, because it can actually rot if you let this sit in too much water. Once you get the hang of propagating a begonia, it's not that hard. This is a cute vine, so I'm gonna leave it as it is. I might even like twirl it up here so it can stand on its own. Now this is very, very infected looking, so I'm gonna completely take this vine off and not do anything with it. And this one vine here, let me see. I may take the tip off and propagate. Usually the tippy top portion is the most precious. This one I'm gonna put it in a water propagation vessel with the other one before. All right, there you go. So we're gonna wait for updates on these. Now I've prepared another pot here, and this is going to be propagated in moss. I have all these additional cuttings that is going right in here. I'm gonna take more cuttings. Find the healthy leaves where possible. The healthier leaves are gonna really make a big difference. Like this is still pretty healthy for me. So yeah, that is it. I'm gonna start watering this after, and I will see you guys in a few months, and hopefully I'll be able to show you a nice bushy pot of this begonia maculata that looks much nicer and more manageable. So with this plant, you really want to keep chopping it up because they're fast growers, and keep maintaining it, and then you'll have some extra cuttings that you can share with your friends as well. And as a bonus, if I can get those sexy red backs, that would be even more amazing. So the trick for that is just to give them slightly lower light than before.
Welcome to a 1-week update. Everything seems to be doing fine. I haven't seen any dramatically crisping or declining leaf from here. And the parent plant, I can also see that new vines have started to appear. This is so stinking cute. I love watching these begonias sprout out new leaves. This one, active growth point, this will put out the new branch here soon. So I'm waiting for these to root up, so I'll give you guys a few months update on these.
Welcome to a 6 weeks update. This is the mother plant. It's put out baby leaves here. It's getting bright in direct light, and I think it's putting out leaves with like very little red underside, which is what we don't like. So I've actually chucked the babies, the propagated plants, all the way in the back of the shelf so they receive slightly less light. But look at that, this is so satisfying to watch. I love that. Checking the undersides to see if I can get back some of the original reds. It might still be a little bit too bright. I'm gonna give it more time, but checking on the cuttings for now. They're so easy to propagate, these guys. This one's showing a little bit of red underneath, and then the one in the water propagation. This might actually be ready to go into soil. Yeah, I'm gonna be potting this in the soil soon enough. But look at this baby growth points that are appearing. I really love propagating these plants. They really vomit out the babies like that in the middle of the screen, and they unfurl really beautifully. and see that little red that's starting to appear. So I'm gonna start giving this even more lower light, chucking it all the way to the back where possible. Believe it or not, 4.5 months has passed us by, and this is the one that we propagated in water. The water cuttings turned into these two vines that grew outwards. They stood up in the beginning, but then they started getting too heavy. So with begonias, what you can do is you can either give them a trellis to let them stand up, or you can just let them flop over, or in some cases, you can even propagate again and start over. And with this one, as you can see here, I grew this in lower light indoors, and some of the reds are coming back on the back of the leaves. So these guys actually might like medium light instead of giving bright indirect light. I have this one as well. This was grown under shelf actually back there. It's a little bit less red, but it is getting kind of a medium light. So the reds are indeed coming back. So I'm excited about that. As you can see, the original leaf that we propagated with, they are rather green on the underside. So yeah, now I have all these begonias. This one actually I water twice a day because it's in terracotta and it's very loose potting media. I don't know what I'm gonna do actually. I might combine them into one. I have way too many plants, but I have them everywhere. And this is another one that we grew and it's looking quite beautiful. I give them a little cover pot here and it's looking just nice on its own. I don't know if I want a full basket of this or if I want to have like them spread out around the garden. I will decide after this video, but I'm happy to turn one. This is the parent plant, by the way. It lost all its leaf in the past few months. I noticed that a few leaves sprouted, but I kind of ignored it. I could have probably propagated from it and I could probably propagate this one last leaf, but I'm just gonna chuck this away. I've got too many plants. I mean, I'm really grateful for this because the mother plant has gifted me so many beautiful babies. But here's the thing that you need to do with your plants, that they will invariably get out of shape. They will get leggy, they will get old, and we can start them over and we can enjoy these and maybe even give some to our friends and families. So I'm very confused as what I'm gonna do with it. I think this is my recurring problem. I have plants and I'm always propagating them and I have no plans of what to do with them. I did give a lot away to my neighbors, but these ones, my gosh, they're so pretty. I feel bad giving them away. I might wanna like hang on to them. Like that looks pretty nice, right? So yeah, I might repot this and set some against the wall. I might have some grown indoors. But this Begonia Maculata, I have another video on this. I did it like 3 years ago or so. They're classic. I don't think this is a plant that will go anywhere. They're so easy to take care of. They'll teach you so much about begonia propagation, about plant care. And again, I really do like that they respond to light and now they're giving me this red underside. It's not as vibrant red as it should be. Keep mind you, I might need to give it more time because some of these begonias, they're crimson red on the underside. This is actually 1 month after that last clip and this plant has been living on this shelf, getting somewhere between medium to bright indirect light. I would say probably medium light because the window is like all the way over there. And I wanted to show you the red back. As you can see from here, it is starting to put out pretty red underside on the new leaves. So I guess I'm going to be keeping it here for a while. In fact, I might even propagate some more because I think this is flopping over really badly. So maybe another propagation project is in the works and I'm excited to get these red color backs like that. Yeah, anyways, enough babbling. Thank you so much for watching this. And by the way, I've been doing a lot of these formats, these propagation and care videos, but they're going to be in the shorts format. So I don't know if you know this, but YouTube have shorts that are under 1 minute long. So some of my future propagation videos will go in there instead of the long form. So, because I know that these videos might be a little bit longer than some of the new viewers would like. Thank you so much again for watching this. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Thank you, Patreon members, for supporting the channel. Should you consider joining as a member, the Patreon link is Sean from Only Plants. It can also be found in this video description. I've started producing bonus contents for members. These include plant hauls, plant shopping, and mini bite-sized adventures. The same bonus contents will also be unlocked for you if you join to become a YouTube member of the channel. There is a monthly membership fee as small as a cup of coffee a month. Simply go to Only Plants channel page and click join. Your contributions help me grow the channel, do better content, and have a better quality of life. For that, I thank you from the bottom of my heart.